But when it happens again and again, I'm sorry, it has to be said, they've let me down really badly. Don't realise how much stuff people collect over a short period of time. I feel like a hoarder, just say the amount of stuff we've got here to go through. Although on a plus note, we did find some beer. Right, before we get into today's video, just a quick talk to you about our sponsor today, which is Vehicle Score, our good friends, who have updated their Vehicle Score check-in service. Now, those of you who don't know, Vehicle Score is a free vehicle check-in service. You simply put in your registration number and it gives you a unique score to your vehicle, which you can compare to the one in Vehicle Score's database. It uses things like mileage and MOT history to give you your unique score and gives you loads of free information about the car you are looking at, such as vehicle data, all the MOT history, all the mileage history, and even offers things like free valuation tool. But they also go further with their paid checks, making sure your vehicle is free of finance, making sure it's not involved in an accident, been for a salvage auction, ever been stolen, maybe been used as a taxi, imported, exported, change of colour. If your vehicle's got a hidden past, Vehicle Score will find it. And the checks are some of the most comprehensive out there and at the best possible price. And it gets better because being a Car UK viewer, you get 20% off their paid checks by simply using the promo code CARUK20. And also as well, Vehicle Score has just launched its new refund cover as well. So for a few extra pounds, buy that refund cover. If your report comes back clean, you don't pay for the report. You get that back. You get it completely refunded. So there you are, even more ways of saving money. So remember to use the CARUK20 discount code on any of the paid checks, but always remember the basic service from Vehicle Score is completely free to use. The link is in the description where you can find Vehicle Score. Go over to Vehicle Score and give them a try today. Even all, welcome back to the Car UK channel. You join me here at the Car Pitch, where I deal in cars under £5,000 retail, the cheaper end of the market. So let's get down to it. What has the last week been like here at the Car Pitch? What's been going on? Well, as the title suggests, to be fair, it's been a bit of a disaster. I've got two ongoing issues that are really getting to me, and in fact one of them is the reason why I'm here today. So the two issues that I'm confronted with, first one is a warranty claim issue, which has been going on now for well in excess of 10 days. And it's not an issue with the customer. The customer's been great. It's actually been an issue with the people who are actually repairing the part in question as to why this car is effectively not usable. And it's really frustrated me because the company in question, which I'll talk to you more about later, is basically just not delivering what it promises. And this is the second time I've had the problem with him in the last few months, and I say it just stresses me out completely. So that's one disaster which I'm, well, hopefully trying to resolve next week, because I'm just literally waiting for a phone call for the guy just to give up and say, look, I want my money back, and he'd be well within his rights to do that. So that's not great. So I'll talk more about that later on. The other one is an issue with the actual site itself. We have a problem. Doing a bit of an office refurb at the moment. I've started some plans in order to try and improve the site over the next few months, because it's, well, not the best, let's be honest. And I want to just make some improvements and just generally try and tidy it up. With the first one being the office, which I mentioned over the last few weeks I'm going to be doing. We started that process yesterday on Saturday. It's now Sunday today, and I'm still here sorting it out. And I'm probably going to be here all day and all night, and probably going to be still doing this in the morning, which is not good, because we should have been done by then and focusing on selling cars and getting them out, not messing around having to put stuff back in the office, fitting carpets and all sorts of other stuff we've got to do. Main issue's been that I've just basically underestimated how much time it's taken to get the office stripped out. All sorts of problems with the walls and trying to repair and stuff, painting, it's just taking forever. It's cold, so it's not going off, and it's just a disaster. Anyway, enough of me moaning about those. We'll come back to them in a minute. Anyway, let's talk about some positives. First of all, we actually have been selling. We've been okay. We were a bit concerned in the last video because we had a bit of a drop-off in inquiries, and particularly local inquiries. We seem to have had a big drop-off there. But luckily, chaps like you watching this recommend me to all sorts of people. People watch the channel, and I've had a lot of cars sold to subscribers, some local and some few and far between. Still got to keep an eye on those walk-ins locally, because say they have dropped off like a stone. Maybe because we haven't got enough stock on, I don't know. Maybe it's because we're not advertising as much. Maybe it is just a dry patch, and we've just, because we've got the power of social media, are one of the luckier ones. I don't know. But it's been okay. We're still selling. So let me talk to you about first what we've been selling, and then we'll go and talk about my disasters and show you where I'm up to with my grand refurb, i.e. not very far. Right, we'll start with some of the sold stuff first and new arrivals, and then we'll move on and talk to you about what's been going on site. You'll notice, by the way, in the videos that the place is a little bit untidy, particularly behind me, because we've been ripping stuff out everywhere, and obviously it's just an absolute mess and chaos. So the first thing we have sold this week, I think actually was this C1, which didn't surprise me, because we have a list as long as our arms for C1s, people inquiring about them. This one came in, put it online, and it sold within about, well, less than an hour, I think it did. First guy rang up, straight away, bang, he's having it, deposit on it, which I'm really pleased about. And he's also got one in part exchange, although an older one, so I doubt we'll go on with it, because it's a very old one. But nonetheless, we've got a swapper out of it. Andy's going to have a good car at the end of it. Little 75,000 mile, 14 plates. So that's the last of this sort of phase, because they finished on 14, the Mark 1s. And he says it's a nice colour, and say just wants a little bit of work, a couple of wheels that want refurbing we're going to do, and you know, just a few little touch-ins. But other than that, it's actually really, really clean. It drives really well. Sold, like I said, within the hour, and then about 7 other people rang up the same day asking for it. So next week's plan is I need to find nice C1s like this, and I have to pay a bit more for them. I'm going to have to, because we could sell them as quick as we're getting them in. Another car we sold straight away, which didn't surprise me, was the Ford Focus Automatic. Now I say we've been struggling lately to sell medium-sized cars. We're not getting many inquiries, but I wasn't going to be worried about this one because it's automatic, like I mentioned. Say automatic cars, it's got good mileage on it, it's quite clean. Phone's ringing. It's a Sunday and the phone is ringing. Let me just go answer that, because that's a bit weird why that's ringing today. Who's ringing on a Sunday? Right, back in the room. I don't know who was ringing, because I couldn't answer the phone because the bell's ringing, but the actual phone's disconnected. And time I plugged it in, they'd already hung up, so we'll never know. Anyway, moving on. Other cars we've sold this week. We sold a Corsa, 15 plate Corsa, which is behind me in the workshop. That sold straight away. I'll show you that in a minute when we go inside. I've also sold some other vehicles as well. I've sold some more iGos as well this week, some cheaper ones. I've also sold a car this week, which I'll talk to you more about in the next video when it lands, which, well, actually I haven't even technically took ownership of the vehicle, and I've already got a name down on it, which is a first for me. Sold a car that I don't actually even own yet, which is, like I said, is a rare one. Per se, but that's sort of the demand we're getting for sort of small cars at the moment. I can't say what it is because it's not actually here yet, but I'll talk more about it in the next video, because it is quite a peach of a car coming in, and with extremely low mileage. We've sold quite a few, 4 or 5 vehicles, predominantly small stuff, with the exception of the Focus. New arrivals, which are coming in, we've got this Megane coupe, which those of you who watch regular would have seen this in an auction trip I went to and bought, which I'm now calling Car of the Week. I think I've just put it on the old Facebook page. What a car this is for the money. And it's a 64 plate, Renault Megane Coupe, 3-door. It's a 1.5 diesel, good engine. I believe it's free road tax, it's certainly low road tax, but I'm pretty sure it's still free road tax on it. And, there's not my figures, this is what Renault claim. It's claimed that it'll do 80 miles to the gallon. 80 miles to the gallon. I mean, it's just unreal. And I think it's a nice thing. Look, pearlescent white, doesn't need any paint. Couple of little wheels that might just want touching in maybe, or maybe have to get a couple of them refurbed, but other than that it's generally all right. I don't think it's particularly mileagey. It has got a little bit of history with it. What else we got? It's done, find out here now, press on there, 92,000 miles, which for diesel's all right, but it's only 3.5 grand. 6-speed manual, got all the screens in it, the Bluetooth, your aux, everything that everyone wants these days on a modern car is on there. Nice big wheels on it. For 3.5 grand, I think that's an incredible car. Cheap to run, cheap insurance, 80 to the gallon and free road tax. It doesn't get any better than these, gents. So I'm quite pleased with that, and I say we've had a couple of inquiries on it already. So I think once we've minted that up and got it on sale and plonk it up over here in the corner, we'll have the name on that probably next week, I reckon. But the other one we're getting on sale hopefully soon is this Corsa, which is going to be going off to have a few touch-ins done on it. But overall, it's a really clean car. Again, bought from a local auction. I need to order some number plates for these. They've both noticed, it's just annoyed me straight away there. Both these number plates are faded, so I'm going to order some more of them in a minute. I'm going to do that. Anyway, off subject. The Corsa, limited edition Corsa. If you're going to sell Vauxhall Corsas, the creme de la creme of sales Corsas, i.e. if you're selling them, the ones you want, not necessarily the best models, but the ones you want to be selling, are the limited edition Corsas, because everyone wants them. All the young people want them, even people a little bit older. Mostly women actually like them as well, limited edition Corsas. They like the sportiness of it. If you can't sell these, you need to stop selling cars, because these are the easiest things in the world to get rid of. This is a nice one, not my cup of tea, because I'm not a fan of black roofs and black wheels and stuff, but I completely get it. I know why they sell, and it's a bit mileagey. It's done 97,000, but it's 3,995. If it done 70,000 miles, it would have been in excess of 5 grand retail, but it hasn't done 70,000 miles. And we have now, which is the second one we've had actually in the space of a week, we have now managed to be able to start getting these Corsa E's, which is what this shape is on a 15 onwards, over average miles, so in the around the 90s, I'd say on budget, so i.e. handy money, because we could sell these if they were 5 grand retail, you know, if they were a little bit less miles, but it's actually easier for us to sell one that's around the 4 grand mark than one the 5 grand mark. The only way to do that is on mileage, basically. I can't see this lasting on sale very long. Already had 1 or 2 inquiries on it. If that's not gone by next week, something's not right. Other than really, I think the only thing on it I've noticed, which is a bit odd because the rest of the wheels are all good, it's just one wheel where old Kirby Curbshaw's been, and took it out and it's just horrible, so I'm going to have to get that refurbed, but the rest of them are actually alright. And these Corsaries have got all the screens in now that all the youth want. They all want touch screens and Bluetooth built into them as standard. It'll do the job, it'll fly out the door, easy bread and butter cars. I mean, the best sort of Corsas we sell, I mean, the one, or anything we sell really, Corsas, Fiestas, even the Clios, newer shaped Clios, around the $3,000-ish mark, so we're talking a little bit older than this. That's the real market where we sell stuff dead easy. Seat Ibifas, they're just, oh my word, they're the brilliant sellers. Anything like that around the $3,000 mark, most people who want the first time cars now are spending about $3,000 when the parents come in asking. So this is a little bit over that budget, but we still sell them. They still fly out the door, particularly, like I said, these Corsas. Meanwhile, on the main row, I've been making a few little tweaks on stuff on the row and just maybe sort of change some prices, and I've had to have 1 or 2 cars off sale, albeit briefly. Things we've made on, some progress we made this week. My Fiat Panda, that's been in the corner for ages. Pulled it off sale because it had a intermittent noise, which turned out to be the alternator, which is really common on Fiat 1.2s, fire engines like these. The alternators, and 1.4s, the alternators, basically the bearings dry up in them and they start going a bit dicky and cause noises. In fact, and sometimes you can seize up and the belts can shear off them and like the cap caught fire, which happened to me once on a video. But anyway, this is a nice clean one. Again, low road tax. It's about 89 or 91,000 if I remember rightly. £3,500, it's a little cheapy. So just took it off sale, fixed it, just plonked it back here for now on Saturday, because when we really weren't open Saturday, to be honest, because we were doing all the refurb. We were going to get that cleaned up and minted up again on Monday and repicture it, put it out there, and hopefully we can get some interest in it. Also as well, a KA, and this isn't technically anywhere near ready. I've just cleaned it for now and pulled it out a dead corner, because I'm actually amazed how well it drove, although it does have an issue with it. It needs a clutch in it because it's very noisy, and also the gearbox I think has got a little bit of a whine in it, but luckily we've got spare gearboxes for these reconditioned, so we're going to put a new gearbox and clutch in it, and then eventually it will go on sale. I've just literally just plonked it here for now, because if someone inquired about it, because we could at least, you know, potentially speak to people about it, you know, and take a deposit potentially if they didn't want it in a hurry, because obviously we'll get it right. 2750, it's 11 plate, so we've done 60,000 miles, and so when we put that clutch and gearbox in it, it will be absolutely spot on. And other than that, it actually drove really well. I was really surprised, because it had been stuck in the corner for ages, which is one of those vehicles as to why I can't understand why we never got on with it quicker than we did. It shouldn't have been left there that long. Was a little bit of a buff up, but overall, it's actually really clean. And with 60 FOW on it, ideal little first time car. So I've put that there for now, and said next week we're going to get onto that and sort that out. Anyway, that's enough of that on the pitch side. I have actually bought quite a lot more cars as well that are coming in next week, some real low mileage stuff as well. So you'll see all that next week in the next update, or you'll check it out on Facebook as I basically try and get some cars on sale. But in order to do that, we need to get this office finished, which I'll show you now is, well, we're a little bit behind. Right, let me show you around. As you can see, there's shit everywhere. So this is all stuff we've been pulling out of the offices, out of the back room. We've got like a parts area which we've started to do up. I'll show you in a minute, although it's full of junk at the moment. Yeah, so it's just a mess in here and it's a mess inside. In fact, let's go inside first so we start talking out here. But one thing I have done, actually, as you'll notice with all this wood, is I've pulled out, I'll show you in here, one of my chip shop counters, as I get someone called them, which I'm sticking with that name. So basically, I hope I've got a video somewhere here I can show you what it was before. We had 2 counters here with like a little flap door in the middle. And to be honest with you, although it was actually quite useful, it took up quite a lot of room. And the idea, what we're doing in here, is just to, well, one, improve the look of it, because it was just, all the paint was falling off the walls and it's not in the best of nick, to be honest. Really, the whole room wants replastering. By the way, I've just painted there in case you're wondering why it's darker there than lighter there. But the whole room really wanted replastering. But to have done that, we'd have had to have had the room basically stripped out, and then we would, you know, with plastering takes a while to do. We'd have been closed even longer than we have been, and we're probably going to lose Monday to this as well. So I didn't really want to replaster it. So basically, we've just gone with a darker colour. I've only done 1 coat. I'll start on the second now. But I've gone with a darker colour, which, believe me, I know it probably doesn't look like it, but it has hidden quite a lot of the imperfections, shall we say, of the wall, and basically just filled in where we can, just patch and mend it. The other thing we've done, like I said, ripped out this counter here to create more open space, because we're going to get rid of, well, so we're getting rid of this flooring, we're going to cover over this flooring because it's horrible. So we're going to put some like black sort of commercial school carpet down, something that's just easy to hoover up, so it's easy to clean and sort of a bit wearable. So we're going to put all that down, hopefully today, hopefully, glue that down, tack it in, put some maybe a little tiny bit of underlay under it as well. And then I've got a ruck of mats that I've ordered as well, like thick sort of commercial roller mats to go down here and under the desks. Put the one desk back there, and then I've got new desks coming to go there, and new filing cabinets to get another workstation sort of this side, get some chairs and make it a proper office where people can come in, sit down, talk to me, you know, when we're doing a deal or something. I've got another desk there, so when my wife comes in, she can help with the admin side when she's here. Or what the plan is as well is I want to get some help with the sort of the YouTube side of the business, which is, you know, obviously helping with the editing and doing the videography and stuff like that, and helping me promote other things that we're doing. And it's just so difficult to do it on my own. It's getting to a point now where almost coming another full-time job in itself, and obviously it affects problems at home and stuff like that, and there comes a point when you just need to get some help, and I'd rather probably get someone in to help me with that journey. So that's what we're doing. Open this space up, make it better, and you'll be able to get more workspace in it and hopefully more productivity out of it. Yeah, but anyway, so we started yesterday afternoon, and it just took forever to get everything stripped out of here. The amount of junk that we have accumulated over an 18-month period is ridiculous. There's just so much stuff that the lads here and me as well had dumped in here and left here, which just shouldn't have been here. So we spent so much time doing tip runs and stuff. We've had to have wiring issues, we've had problems with the walls, we've had to repair them and stuff. It's just been forever. Other things as well, I said we've just been pulling out all the parts bin, because the lights broke, by the way, as well. That broke the other day. That's really helped the situation. But this is my parts bin where I keep all my stuff, you know, all the cars we work on, all the common things that go wrong. I buy in bulk and just keep them in here. I would say we've just thrown stuff in here for now, but we've had to pull this out because there was that much crap in here, that stuff we don't even need anymore, and stuff that we don't even know what it's for. So we've had to go for all that. We have managed to now put some more shelves in and stuff and just try and tidy it up a little bit. But there we go. Anyway, the point being now is obviously I've got to do another coat of paint in here at least. Then I've got to do all the glossing. Then I've got to get one of my colleagues in to help me do the carpet, sort all that out, put the carpet back in, and then we can start to, well, hopefully bring all the stuff back in and make it into some sort of workable office. Is that going to be done today? Is it buggery? Yeah, so anyway, really behind with that. I'll give you hopefully an update video next week with it all done. So we've got to sort out the counters as well, having the counters redone and a bit of glossing, and there's some other bits of stuff I'm having put in there, and signage and little bits just to brighten the place up and, you know, make it look a little bit more like a car dealer's office. Quickly show you this Corsa we mentioned earlier we sold. So this is a, well, you can see up in here, 2015 plate, another Corsa. So this sold the other day. We're just literally getting that through prep. We're pretty much there now. So we've just gone through it, working through the job list. The only thing left on this one, I think now, is tyres. So the brakes have been done. We've done all the usual checks we do, like making sure the stat housings is all sorted and anything like that, coolant houses that leak on these things. Done a service kit on it as well. But other than that, actually, it wasn't too bad, this one. So usually Corsas, mainly older ones, Corsa Ds, a few years older, you do have to throw a lot of money at them because they can be a bit, well, they start to fall apart of a certain year. You have to throw a bit of money at them. But this is probably a little bit too new still, where those older sort of, those problems, those common issues haven't really sort of developed to this point yet. But nonetheless, with some of them in particular, we just change anyway, sort out, because we know they go wrong, and I don't want to start having issues with, something going wrong under warranty, particularly if cars are going really far away, bringing them back for something so trivial, which we could sort out in-house beforehand, particularly if we know it's a common issue, so we just do them. Tyres, they're here, we keep them in stock, so they're going to be going on there next, and then we can get it on the ground, go for a final test drive, and then get it MOT'd and out to the customer hopefully next week, all being well. Other things, what we can talk about, Merc, the Merc outside, the wheels are back. So this is the Merc C-Class, which we sold. These have been the powder coaters. They've been on the floor for about a day or so, and they're covered in dust now. But see, they've done a good job. Very good powder coater we use. He always does as well. So they're going to be going on next week, and then we can get that in here and finish that C-Class Mercedes off. But to do that, we're going to have to get all this junk all back into the office. I said, you just don't realise how much stuff people collect over a short period of time. I won't say I feel like a hoarder, just say the amount of stuff we've got here to go through. Although on a plus note, we did find some beer. So anyway, hopefully the next few days we'll get that office finished off and get it looking well again, and then I can move on to the next sort of part of my plan for the sort of regeneration, I'm going to call it. Now the next obvious one is, I need a new sign, which is, should be here hopefully next week. I did say that last week, but it really should be here next week. Hopefully that'll get delivered and then we can get it fitted. Well, I say if we're going to fit it, I've paid actually to have it fitted. I was tempted not to pay for the fitment and do it ourselves, but I know that if I don't pay for that fitting, I know it's 150 quid. I'm just being tight-fisted, it'll just sit in the corner for ages. So I thought, no, do you know what? Sod it. Just get them in and just put it straight up. So that's the next one. And after that, I'm going to do a bit of work inside this workshop. Maybe paint the floors in the summer when it's a bit drier, because floor paint takes ages to go off, and sort out my kitchen, which is horrible, which I would say I wouldn't let a dog shit in there. I'm going to sort that out, and then the final piece of the puzzle is to try and do something outside, which is it really annoys me outside. Sort of patchwork, if you like, of repairs over the years to the pitch. Obviously, things have happened over the years and potholes, it's just been repaired and mended, but there comes a point over, I think, 50 or 60 years this site's been here, where you just get uneven ground and it really wants sort of refreshing. So I need to come up with some ideas there, but I'll say I'll come back to that in the summer. For now, it's just doing my little bits, like I say, getting that office done, fixing here. I could do a bit of painting on the walls as well, because they're awful and peeling, and just try and keep the place looking a little bit fresher. Anyhow, moving on, let's talk to you about my other problem that I've been having this week, my other disaster. And it's to do with this vehicle here, as you can see in the picture, which is a Vauxhall Viva that we've sold. Now, we sold this to a customer a few weeks ago now. I think it would have been about coming up to the 3rd week now we're in. And to be honest with you, the customer, like I said earlier, has been absolutely brilliant. He's not, for once, moaned. He's been absolutely top draw. In fact, he was actually one of the best customers I ever had in regards to coming in and buying a car, because he literally came in, asked for a car, I showed him one, within 2 minutes he just kicked the tyres and said he'll have it. If only every other customer who walked on it was like that. In reality, they are few and far between. Most people do a little bit more due diligence. But nonetheless, he just wanted a car, he saw what he wanted, and he just paid a deposit and had it. And we spent an absolute fortune on this Vauxhall Viva, because it basically had a lot of issues, and it just turned into being really expensive on us. Off the top of my head, I ended up having a timing chain put on it, which was really expensive to do. Not complicated, but really expensive. We had to put solenoids on it as well, because they went faulty. New battery on it, because that was dead. It had to have an ABS sensor, because it was showing an ABS fault on it, which we thought we cured. That's what we're coming back to in a minute. We had to have the wheels all refurbed and powder coated, because they were a mess. It was just one thing after another. And basically, time we got it out to the customer, we were on really, really small wages out of it. Probably half what we would usually make on it. And you can guarantee now that is completely gone, whatever we had profit left in it, because we've had, say, more issues going forward. He only had it for a very short period of time, and he rang me up and said, I've got a problem. And basically he was having issues with, he felt like his brakes were binding, so we got it back in, had a look, and it was presented with basically brake bind on it, which was a bit odd, because it went out perfect, even past an MOT. Anyway, we got to the nut and grit of it, and basically what was happening is that when the car was effectively cold or been left for a period of time, it would run fine for about 5, 6, 7 miles, and then the ABS system would have basically a panic attack and start applying itself randomly, and eventually start to try and apply the brakes on. Now, similar things can go wrong on Corsas. We've had that issue before. Anyone who deals in cars and mechanics watching will know exactly what I mean with Corsa ABS faults. So we thought it'd be on a similar lines to one of those. So basically, we got a second-hand ABS pump, and like we do with the Vauxhall Corsas, you just change them over, bleed them up, and away you go. Well, we tried that, bled the car up, but it wouldn't start, because it turns out that on the Vauxhall Vivas, which are not really Vauxhall-based products, they're sort of like Chevrolets, they are programmed, so you have to program them in. No one seems to have the software for them, because they're not really sort of Vauxhall-y tech. So the only other option available was to send this pump away, the existing pump that was faulty, and have it basically fixed, reprogrammed if you like, have it all fixed and rebuilt, and have it sent back to us. We can just plug it in, start it up, and we can get the customer back in his car. Now, to do that, I looked online and I found the company I was going to use. It's actually a company I've used a few times before, and that is a company called ECU Testing. Now, those of you in mechanicals and backgrounds and garages will know who ECU Testing is. They are probably one of the largest companies in the UK for fixing ECUs, but not only that, they fix ABS pumps and all types of electrical components and modules, and they are very, very good. But it would appear that they are extremely busy, because this is not the first time that I've had issues with them basically promising something and then just not delivering it, i.e. just taking far too long to fix things. So anyway, I went on their site, put the reg in, it brought up the ABS pump in question, showed me a picture of it, gave me an indication of what the common issues were with that particular unit, and bingo, we had exactly the same problem. So we knew straight away we were onto something. So we sent in the request form, basically explaining what had gone wrong. They acknowledged it, got it picked up by a courier, and off it went. Everything was going to plan, and it said on the website that it should take around 2 to 3 working days turnaround on it. So when the pump got to them on, I think it was last Monday, it got there, it said we got an email straight away, it's arrived with us, we're going to get it allocated to an engineer. And you're thinking, brilliant, we're on track. Now, in the meantime, I've got a customer back in a car and sorted for now, but I'm having to pay for insurance, so temporary cover to keep him in that car. But do you know what? It's only going to be a week, just one of those things. Just get it done, he's on the road, he's happy, and we said we can get this back by the end of the week. Later that afternoon, we get another email saying that it's now been allocated to an engineer, and you're looking at 2 to 3 days turnaround until we can get a response on it. Now, bear in mind, I've actually paid in full to have a rebuild for this vehicle, so I've paid, I think, the best part of nearly 300 quid or 280 quid, I think it was, to have this pump rebuilt. I'm assuming they're going to get it, test it, and then start the rebuilding process. So I left them to it, didn't come back to them for a few days, but then I never heard anything, so I thought I'd give them a quick call. When I rang them up, they basically said and admitted, well, actually, it's not actually been allocated to any engineer yet, it's still being queued. But hopefully, within the first 3 days, since Monday, it will get allocated. That's what we actually mean. Well, that's not what they said on the last email, and that's not what they promised on their website. So I got a little bit infuriated with the guy on the phone, because basically I'm saying, look, what you're basically telling to us is complete rubbish. You're saying it's going to be 2 to 3 day turnaround on this part to be done, and you're not delivering it. And this is not the first time this has happened. I had a similar issue a few months ago with a steering column module on I think it was a Vauxhall Mariva. Sent it away, and it just took ages. It should have been done within a few days, and it didn't happen. I rang them up and said, look, come on, it is taking far too long. You said it's going to be X days, it's not. What is going on? And they basically just turned around and said, well, we prioritise all our eBay orders first. Bear in mind that when you sell stuff on eBay, you pay eBay for that privilege, so they're actually making less money overall, even though I'd gone through their trade website and paid more money and got a worse service, i.e. delayed service. But nonetheless, apparently that's how they operate, and that's not my opinion. That is what they told me, how they operate, when I rang them and spoke to them. And then eventually, when we did get that steering column back, it didn't work properly. We had to mess around with some wiring that was not put back properly, shall we say. So I was really disappointed. But even after that, I still thought, you know what, I'll try them again, because I've used them for years, and even in my previous business, and we've never had any issues, to be honest. It's just that one occasion. And look, people can make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So I wasn't just going to throw me toys out of a pram because of one incident. But now this is a second incident where they're just taking forever to get this pump back. We're now into the second week, and we're nowhere near knowing how soon we're going to get this pump back. Meanwhile, it's costing me a fortune putting this guy into temporary cover on a car I've given him. And every time he rings up, I've got nothing to tell him. I can't say to him, it's going to be back this day, because I'm not getting the answers that I want from the company. So really annoyed with them, to be honest with you. And I say, I don't like slagging off other companies or anything like that. That's not what I'm about. But when it happens again and again, I'm sorry, it has to be said. They've let me down really badly. And I'm going to have to maybe look at using someone else going forward in the future when we get these issues, which is a real shame, because the quality of the work we've had previously on years gone by, it's been absolutely brilliant. So if anyone out there knows any other firms that deal in sort of module repairs, you know, the usual things like ECU repairs or ABS pump repairs, or you have problems with like clocks and dashes, Fiats in particular we have issues with, and some of the old Fords did as well. Anything like that, if you've got any suggestions, let me know in the comments, because there's bound to be some smaller operation out there who does all these repairs and stuff. And actually, do you know what? I'd rather support someone like that than a bigger company who just seems to me to be really sort of alienating its customer base. So let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions for that. Anyway, I think it's about time now that we wrap this up, because, well, I've got loads of pain to be getting on with. Now, I am going to be back at the auctions hopefully this week. I'm planning on going to 2 sales, and I will be doing some recording. Maybe back at G3 this week, I'm not sure. But I'm definitely going to some auctions, so we'll definitely do some filming for you to make sure you've got some auction content coming later in the week. Also, don't forget as well, if you want to get involved in the Car UK raffle, the link is in the description, where you can win for £2 this stunning Mini Cooper, Nissan Micra K10 or £1,000 cash, or a £3,000 cash alternative, and lots of other sub prizes as well. It's a guaranteed draw. Links in the description for that one. It's £2 to get involved. Lots of the proceeds will be going to charity as well, and also as bundle offers available, so you can get lots of free extra tickets, giving you more chance of being able to win those prizes. So make sure you check that one out. Thanks again, chaps, and I'll see you all in the next one.